Hello, it has been a really long time since I've made a video, but I'm gonna do, I guess, sort of an end of year roundup. I'm sitting in the floor because I have a lot of stuff spread out around me because I don't have room on the desk, and I got rid of my small table that I used to put in front of me. First off, I have been cross stitching almost every day. Maybe too much, like all the time. But I also started diamond painting again. I am currently working on this one. Oop, I think that's upside down. There it is. From DAC, Diamond Art Club. I actually bought it at Hobby Lobby. This was the first Diamond Art Club that I bought. It is huge. It is 42 inches by 20.5 inches. It's a square. I square drills. I didn't realize, like, in my brain how big it was when I bought it. Judging by the box, I should have known it was huge, but it didn't register, and now I don't know how in the world I'm going to get it done. I've had that particular one for over a year, probably like a year and a half, and just never started it. So I started it for the winter with DAC kind of dot along or drill along or whatever, but I haven't gotten very far on it. Another one I bought that I started on is this one. This is also from Diamond Art Club, Oscar the Grouch. I got all 4 of the Sesame Streets that they put out, I think it was the first week of December. There's Elmo and Big Bird and Cookie Monster and the Grouch. So I've started on the Grouch. I haven't started on the others. For Black Friday, my husband actually bought me 6 kits that I will be working on. I think the next one I'm going to actually do is the Harry Potter Ravenclaw crest. I've wanted that one for a little while. Well, I wanted one of them. Once I figured out which house I would belong in, I decided to go ahead and get the Ravenclaw one. But that's it for that. I have bought a lot of stuff since I made my last video. My husband bought quite a bit of it, but the biggest thing I got was this. It is a stand. It's a scroll frame. It has the snap bars, almost like a Q-snap, so you don't actually have to thread it through and you don't have to sew it on. There are these lines right here. These just snap into them, and then you're good to go. You just roll it. It's not the highest quality scroll frame, even highest quality snap frame. It came from Amazon. It is the same brand, I believe, or the same kind of manufacturer as the one that I returned, because it also came with those same pieces to use the wood hoops in, which I don't like and I don't use. So they're just over on the shelf for now. These little kits right here I have bought. Oh, there's another one. This one was on sale when I bought some other stuff. I think this came from A Cherry on Top, which is actually a paper crafting company, but they have all sorts of different crafts. I think this little guy was like $2. From the same place, I got this, and it says stamped, and in my mind it was like the ones you see coming from like China and stuff that are just printed and you just sew over it, but it's actually this, where it's not necessarily cross stitch fabric. It's just like a solid weave cotton, and then you just stitch over it and then you wash it and this blue goes away. I actually don't like these. I've tried them in the past and I just didn't like it, so I'm gonna try it again. This was like $2. I think it was like last chance clearance. So if I don't like it, I'll just throw it away. It's not the end of the world. No, cross stitch supplies are not the end of the world. Then I was actually online looking for something else, which I couldn't find. It's a State of Texas quilt block alphabet. So each letter of the alphabet has its own little block, and it has something to do with Texas that starts with that letter. Well, it's an old chart, I guess, from sometime in the mid to late 90s from a company that doesn't exist anymore, and no one has it. It wasn't on eBay, it wasn't on Etsy. When I Googled it, it didn't even come up. The company comes up, but their website hasn't been updated since like 2005. So that will just be a unicorn, and I'll probably never get it. But I did find this. All 50 states are available, but I got this one off of eBay. This kit is actually discontinued, and it's actually the oldest thing I own now, because, where is it? Well, I thought there was a copyright date on this thing that was sometime in the 90s, or the 80s, I mean, because I have another kit that I'll show you that is from the 80s. It's a kit, so it came with everything. Oh, here it is right here. 1986. I think the other one's from 1985. But it has the floss, and it has fabric. I actually took it out to try and flatten it out some, because, I mean, it's been in this package since 1985, so it is very creased. It's just plain 14 count white Aida, which I think will look perfect with this. I'm not gonna go outside the box on that, no big deal. I heard my phone go off with work email. So this is the kit that's from 1985, right here, 1985. And I think it's been in many of my videos already. It's being made for a friend. This is what it'll look like. He is a Marine. They don't say former, they don't say ex. I've been working on this quite a bit as part of the cross stitch challenge group I joined. And so I've just been using it. My plan was to have it done by this Christmas, but that was a little overzealous. So this is how much I've gotten done. So I still have to fill in the rest of the blue around the inner circle. Then I actually have to finish the outer circle. This goes out quite a bit, and there's some kind of wavy lines filled to it, so I have to fill the rest of this in, and then I have to do the back stitch in the center part here. I did buy this kit used, and the way it was folded, I didn't realize someone had started the center. They had only done like the eagle and the planet and this little thing up here. So all the red, everything, all the circles, the blue, the lettering, I've done all of that. And if you look at the back, you can see, I'm guessing they gave up because they didn't realize how tedious it was or how hard it was, because the back in that center just looks terrible. I feel bad to say that, because I know the back of some of my early pieces looks terrible, but when I've had to like stitch up against what was already there, I am catching so many loose threads, and I'm pulling threads out because they weren't anchored, and it's just a mess. But now I'm far enough away from all of that that it shouldn't matter until I get to the back stitch. But this one is gonna go away for a little while just because I'm tired of stitching it, basically. So I have a lot of these that I bought off of Amazon. These are great. I think I got 10 or 12 of them for like $15. They're big enough that pretty much any pattern fits in them. They're pretty sturdy. I don't know if they're waterproof or anything, but they're vinyl, plastic, whatever. Okay, so then I have this green one, and then I have a purple one that my husband got when he worked for a trucking company. So I won't turn this around because it has the trucking company name on it, but that was to put their documents and stuff in. And so when he quit working for the trucking company, he asked me if I had a use for them, and I was like, yes, absolutely. So this one is actually a restart. So this is where I am now. I'm doing this 3/1 half stitch. Oops, there's a needle in there and everything. This is the Overlook Stanley Hotel Stephen King stitch along. It's actually complete, but because I hated my original one so much, I don't even have pictures of it anymore. I threw the thing away. I threw the picture, everything. I hated the color. I thought I would love the color, but the colors of the floss were so washed out on it that there was no definition, no anything. And even still, I have changed one or two colors. I've changed the colors of the windows so that you can actually tell there's something going on. Because honestly, I'm using Sullivan's floss, which I know a lot of people swear by, versus DMC, but I just think it's terrible. The colors aren't true to the DMC colors for several of them, including these grays, because I have a skein of one of them in DMC, and you can definitely tell the difference. So I think that was part of the problem, is that the Sullivan color just wasn't true to the DMC color. So for what she was going for, it just didn't look right, because I chose the wrong floss, because that's what my local needle workshop sells, is Sullivan, and they sell Weeks and all the other more expensive ones. And the sweet lady in the needle workshop convinced me that Sullivan's was better, and they pay their workers fair wages, which is probably a lie because they're in China. And most of the people that work there are disabled and blah, blah, blah. She had this whole story about these people. So she carries Sullivan's because she feels like it's a better company. They may be a better company, but their floss is crap. But I have that entire project kitted up with Sullivan's floss. So I'm just going to continue using it because I'm not going to re-kit it up and have all that floss that I spent all that money on. So this next one that's going to be a semi-focus piece next year. I really don't care about it that much. This one is going to be my focus piece, and I'm going to use it for the yearly challenge in the cross stitch group, and it is the American Horror Story Coven stitch along. So Coven was the one about the witches, so this is the witch house, and I think they're on room 4, and as you can see, I have not even finished the house yet. I love the color of this fabric. I think it's going to look great because there is a little modeling to it. It was just white Aida that I dyed with diluted fountain pen ink. And so I think it kind of gives like a stormy cloud look to it. And I think once it's done, it'll look really good. So that's going to be my yearly stitch piece. I think there should be enough stitches to make it to the end. I think it's 60,000 stitches to finish the full year. So hopefully that'll be enough. If not, that'll count as a finish, and then I'll move on to a different project. Another piece I want to finish next year. Now these are bigger pieces. I have a lot of small pieces I'll show you in a minute that I'm probably going to start the year off with for like the monthly challenges in the group, because there's yearly, monthly, weekly, and then like watching and reading. This year we're doing Lord of the Rings, so there's reading as well as watching. I have my books up there already. I only have the main 4 books, The Hobbit, and then the 3 Lord of the Rings books, so I'll have to find the other books from the library, or if not, hopefully Amazon has them. So this is my cryptid SAL. This is how far I've gotten. Hopefully you can see that. I'm doing all of the borders, the little boxes, and then the doodads first. And then I will go back and do the actual cryptids themselves. I'm not doing the supernatural SAL that just ended. I waited to see if I was gonna like most of the creatures that were in there, and honestly I don't like them. I like the overall theme. I like, I love everything Witchy Stitcher does, but I just don't like the way most of the characters look, so I don't feel like there's any point in me stitching that. I bought some fancy floss that I'm probably gonna use to do all the names, because I added gray to a lot of areas. Like this is gunmetal, I think it's called, by Weeks Dye Works, and so I also put that here instead of the black. And then this is 1 piece of ecru and 1 piece of glow-in-the-dark Krynic, which is like plastic. It's really gross and I hate it. And I'm probably going to put the entire pile of Krynic that I bought at the flea market on Etsy when I'm done with this, because I don't know how people use it. It's horrible. So this is it. I don't know if you can tell. It's like a piece of freaking plastic. That's all it is. It's like this weird flat thing. There's which one it is. It's horrible. Yeah, I'm just glad I did not pay retail price for that. So, and I'm gonna try to start doing weekly videos so that I can show my progress on the diamond paintings and cross stitch both. So I have these are Mandy Manzano pictures originally, her paintings, and then Creatively Crafting, I believe is what her name is. Yes, Creatively Crafting. She has turned them into cross stitch patterns. Diamond Art Club had some of them as diamond paintings, but the Disney inspired ones they no longer carry, and I think it's a Disney licensing thing. But Creatively Crafting has them full size, which are huge things. I have the minis. So I've started on Alice, and I haven't really gotten very far. I've started the border, and I'm doing it in half stitch, but I'm not doing it with floss. I'm actually using crochet cotton. This is number 5 crochet cotton, and I'm only going to use that for the areas that are like the caning, because this is supposed to be stained glass. So all these areas, these black lines that would be like the caning on the stained glass, those areas are going to be done with the crochet cotton, so that they'll actually be puffier than the the floss cross stitches. And these pieces that I have, as you can tell, it's really close to the top, and it's going to be really close to the bottom. It's going to be like right here, but there's plenty on the sides to mount it once I figure out what I'm going to do with them. But I also have, I'm a member of the club, so I have a lot of them coming. Some of them I'm just not interested in doing, honestly. Like Sleeping Beauty was the first one, Aurora. I think we've gotten Aladdin, not really interested in doing him. But I also have Maleficent. And once I finish Alice, I'll start on Maleficent. And Maleficent is actually going to go on this pink to represent Aurora. So it's full coverage where the actual stitching is, but then you'll see most of the side. So she's getting stitch on that for Aurora. And I bought these gigantic needles for the crochet cotton. Because even getting just one strand of the crochet cotton through the 22 needle is hard. And then this one, I'm going to do Ursula. I haven't printed her out yet. I just pulled the fabric so I didn't forget and use it for something else. This month's one is Jack Skellington. So I'm super excited for that one. I'll definitely be doing that one eventually. I don't know when. These are considered mini. They're not huge. They're, you know, about 12 inches by like 6 inches. So they're not huge, but they are full coverage and there's a lot of confetti. So I think they will take me a little while. I don't know. That one's actually kind of towards the bottom of my focus. Now this next one I want to get done. It's over also. It was a stitch along. Here's what it'll look like eventually. This is just the frame. So it's called the Cabinet of Curiosities. And I know I showed the pattern, but it's just a bunch of lines. So I am working on the bottom. I've already finished the top, and this is like perfectly in here, so I don't want to take it out. But for the lines down the sides, I'm actually using this gold or copper, one strand of the copper DMC, and then I did some of the doodads. Oh, actually, I'm working on the top. It goes this way. These little doodads I did in the purple metallic, and I did the wording in a dark gray metallic. It's almost like a black metallic. I don't know. And then every little box will get a item like that would be in a Cabinet of Curiosity, like a pinned butterfly or a bottle or whatever. And that is actually the Stitchonomy, I think is what it's called. Halloween 2022 stitch along. She has all of the stitch alongs in her Etsy shop. Once they're over, they go to her Etsy shop. They're free if you sign up at the beginning. We just started the Christmas 2022 stitch along. I think we're on pattern 2 or 3. I can't remember. I haven't started that one. I'm just saving them. I'm not a huge Christmas stitcher, honestly. It's not my thing, but I do want to try and do it. A lot of the motifs are really cute. I may just save the motifs and make Christmas ornaments, because I do want to start making Christmas ornaments. Okay, I'll start over now. Got a phone call and then hubby came home. Alright, so the rest of these are projects that I'm pretty sure I can get done quickly if I just try. So this one, this little bunny, I'm doing it on perforated paper. So it looks like a bunny butt, but it's an egg. And let's see. Alright, so this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to have beads and some ribbon, but I don't do beads, so it will just have French knots. And this is the whole pattern. So I think I should be able to get this done pretty quickly if I just knuckle down on it. Here's all the colors. They're pretty colors, very Easter colors, lots of blue. I started that one because one of the challenges in the group was stitch with blue thread. So, and I have a bulletin board at work that I'm trying to get some little things made to hang up there rather than continuing to go to Dollar Tree and buy stuff. This one is Wednesday Adams. One of the groups I am in has a on Wednesday we stitch Wednesday hashtag. I've only stitched it one day, the day I started it. Boop, this is what it'll look like. I'm on her face still because I am a center starter. But here's all the colors. It's not a whole lot of colors because it's mostly just her face. And then black and gray for the border, and the red is her lips. So I think this is her forehead and this is her chin. But this one's not very big, so the whole thing will fit in this hoop. I won't have to move the hoop, so it's not very big at all. I think this is a 6-inch hoop. So that one I should be able to get finished pretty quickly, especially if I do like probably a week of monogamous stitching on it. This one I started also for that group because it was something that was a tribute to Princess Leia because we were doing Star Wars. So I did this one. It says, "Women who behave rarely make history." I have actually had this for years and years. It's a 2009 pattern, and I think that's when I bought it. So it came with these little handcuffs that are supposed to go on it. I'm probably actually not going to put those on there. I think they're kind of dumb. So this is where I've gotten most of the ribbon done, if not all of it. And then I started on the face because I got tired of stitching the pink. So that one, I mean, that's not anywhere close to full coverage. That should be done pretty quickly. This is Christmas, excuse me, this is Halloween. And, oh, there it is. It's very small. It's also on perforated paper. I really need to quit leaving needles and everything. So that's most of it. All I have left is the bottom of the pumpkin and the rest of the hat. It was originally supposed to be stitched on 32 count, I think, because it has half stitches, but I just left them. It was in the... oh, it's from Creatively Crafting also. I think it might have been one of her freebies. But boop. And in this same bag, I actually have something that I finished this year, which was this little sunshine. And it's on perforated paper. I'm probably going to leave the llama washi tape on it just because it's there, it's stuck, it's good. That was from a really old issue of Just Cross Stitch, I think, that I checked out from the library. If you have a library that does digital magazines, you can check out years and years and years of digital magazines and then just screenshot the pattern you want to take. I mean, I know technically that's not correct, but you know, you can only check them out for 14 days, and more than likely you're not going to be able to finish something in 14 days. So this one I actually bought because my husband and I were supposed to go see The Wizard of Oz for Judy Garland's 100th birthday in the theaters, and it was on a Sunday, and I bought the tickets, and then the Thursday before that he had a heart attack and didn't actually get out of the hospital until Sunday. So I got a refund on the tickets, and I went ahead and started this anyways. But it is the Wicked Witch. I actually think they sell it as a Wicked pattern, like the Broadway play, but all I have left is the rest of the bottom. I think it comes down somewhere around here, and it's all black stitching, so it's just line after line of black stitching. I actually started this and didn't realize I had put the fabric in the hoop, or in the Q-snap, going the wrong direction, and so I had actually started stitching it going this way, so I had to rip everything out and start over because this is the only piece of green I had. So I've actually stitched like this chunk in here twice, but it's okay. It actually, because that section is full coverage, you really can't tell that I had to pull it out, and the fabric didn't tear or anything, so I got lucky. I do not have a picture of it in here, but it was on Etsy. I bought it from Etsy. Okay, the next one I started just for that group because it was a Star Wars group, and it came out of this book. This came as a kit. It had floss and some small pieces of fabric, but it has 12 patterns in it, and they're all pretty small. None of them are full coverage or anything. I have a video showing this when I bought it, but this is Darth Vader, and I've gotten this far. He doesn't have a head. He doesn't have a body yet. I got tired of stitching black, so I stitched the lightsaber. But this one is another one that if I tried, I could probably get done pretty quickly. These next ones, I started several of these for different prompts in the group. So there's actually 1, 2, 3. Three that are not finished, and then 1 I finished and 2 I had previously finished. So these are Quirky Quakers. This one is the little fox. Goes this direction. So I haven't gotten very far on the little fox. And all of these I'm stitching in 1 kind of variegated thread. They call for multiple colors, but I'm just stitching them all in variegated thread. So this one is the Yeti, or excuse me, this is Sasquatch. The Yeti will be done in blue. It's the same pattern, just blue versus earth tones. And then this one is the raccoon. Let's see. I don't actually know which way this goes. I guess it doesn't matter. But this is the raccoon. Oh, I have a arrow, so it actually goes this way. So these, for a lot of people, these are one-day stitches, so yeah, I'm kind of lame that I have been kind of dragging them out, but I started them for those prompts, and then that was it. I bought this fabric for these first two that I did, and then I figured there was enough of the fabric left, just do them all in the same fabric, even though they really don't match. So this is Nessie, and once again, that's one single variegated floss. The unicorn, Nessie, the unicorn, and the Sasquatch / Yeti came together in her little cryptid series. The others you buy separately. And then the bat. I did kind of manipulate where I was stitching on the bat so that his wings would be darker than his body. But the others, I just stitched as I went, and whatever color ended up wherever is what it did. The only thing I don't like about stitching a variegated floss is stitching one stitch at a time, because normally once I learned how to do the railroad, that's how I do it. I don't do one stitch at a time, but with the variegated you kind of have to, unless you don't care. I have stitched things with variegated where I did the railroad, and it looks very busy, and in some cases it almost looks like the glitchy kind of stitches when your dark and your light cross over each other, so I don't really like that as much. And then the last thing I have that I've been working on is from the Just Cross Stitch Halloween issue, and I think, okay, good. So this is what it'll look like eventually. You stitch the cat and the broom and the spider. I have a couple of spider buttons that I'm probably going to use for the spider. I'm not sure. I'm going to stitch everything but the spider, lay the buttons on there, see what I think. But I finished most of the cat. He's kind of a weird shaped cat, and then I still have to do all the spider web and everything up here. But that's another one that could get done pretty quickly. Because that one is just straight lines, I've been stitching on that one in the living room, so I don't really need a pattern too much. I just have to fill in straight lines to the end. Same with the Marines insignia. I was using that one as my living room pattern because I didn't need a pattern. I just go in there and just sit and just fill in with the colors. That's how I got the red done so quickly. I bought a floor lamp, an Light floor lamp from Amazon. It was like $99, I think, and it lights up the whole living room. So now I have really good light to sit on the couch and stitch, whereas I didn't like stitching in there before because it's so dark. Our ceiling fan, you know, is just a small ceiling fan with just the regular light bulbs, and it barely lights up the coffee table. So, all right. I think that's it. I'm sure I'll find other stuff that I've bought or whatever. I have a lot of other patterns printed out, and I have fabric picked for a lot of other patterns, but they aren't kitted up because I have so many things already kitted up, and I don't want to buy more floss because I bought the entire set from Amazon. And then I really got into the anchor floss. I have a ton of that, and I just don't want to keep buying floss because I just have so much. I really don't think I'm going to buy much this coming year because I have so many things I need to finish. I bought some fabric at the flea market. It's 25 count Lugana, which I've never used before. Let me grab that real quick. Alright, I knocked the camera over when I got up. Knocked the phone over actually, and now it's crooked, so this last little bit's gonna be crooked. So this is the Lugana I bought. The lady had it marked but the sizes she had marked were not accurate, so I remeasured it and put measurements on it. But it's 28 count Lugana, and it's in this peachy kind of flesh color. I've been wanting to try smaller fabric, but didn't really want to pay a lot for it, so I got 4 pieces, actually 5 pieces. One piece I've already set aside. The bigger piece, I'm gonna do the Hogwarts Choose Your Own Adventure stitch on it, because it has a lot of half stitches and 3/4 stitches, so I'll do the 2/2 on the Lugana. I guess there are 4 pieces, because this one says Magic Kingdom on it, so that one's gonna be for that. I guess there are. Maybe I pulled the other one out. But this one's 15 by 27. And this one is 13 by 19. And this one's 13 by 19. So these are pretty good size pieces. This one's 20 by 16. So all 4 of these pieces of Lugana I paid $12 for. So I figure if I just absolutely hate it, can't stitch on it, I'll just put it in my Etsy store and pass it on to somebody else. Another thing I bought was the child. It's a full kit. I did buy it at the store. Everybody hates, but I just went in there to see what they had, because Michael's doesn't have a lot of cross stitch stuff at all. Like pretty much nothing. And the Walmart near me, they started selling their stuff out, and once it's gone they don't refill it anymore. I got this one because this has everyone, so it has a pattern for all of the major characters in the movies, and that's really what I wanted, was to get all the major characters so I could use them to make ornaments, like little 3-inch ornaments. I don't know, I think it has enough to where you could make like a 4-person enough fabric, and then it's got the crappy wooden hoop. But I just wanted all the patterns for each little person. And then this one also has the wooden hoop, but I probably won't use that. I may use it when it's done to hang it up. And the last thing while I was over there, this is the Stitchonomy Stitch Along. And I finally finished it. A couple of them had different options you could do. So I have 2 more animals I was gonna stitch on the sides. Like one is an owl and the other one is like a weird butterfly. So I was gonna stitch them on the sides, but then I decided that once I was done with the lizard, that I was just done with this whole thing. So it is done. It needs to be ironed. It needs to be framed. But I think that's everything I have. I have a little remote for the phone, so I don't have to get out and hit the button all the time. It doesn't always work though. I think the battery may be dying. So I'm gonna try to start doing weekly videos. If I don't do weekly, at least monthly. Try and actually start holding myself accountable for doing this. So there'll be cross stitch, but there'll also be diamond painting. There may be some journaling with the disc bound journals. I'm gonna start making my own covers and making dividers and dashboards and things, and hopefully get those up on Etsy. I asked for Amazon gift cards for Christmas to get a new printer, and then I also want to get a laminator, and there's a punch board that makes the nice tabs so you don't have to try and cut those out. I have the hole punch for the sides. I got the classic size, which is the 6x8, and then I also bought the big, what they call the big, which is 8.5 by 11. It's just regular size paper. So I have both of those hole punches. I'm gonna get a corner chomper, and so once I start making those, maybe I'll make some videos and then start linking my Etsy store. Alright, so until next time, thank you for watching. Have a great day.